Assalamualaikum. I am Dr. Nishat, Assistant Professor of Physiology, and today I will be talking about membrane transport. What is membrane transport? It is a physiological process by which substances are transported across a membrane. Membrane transport are divided into two parts. One is the active transport and is the passive transport. There is a basic difference between passive transport and active transport. In case of passive transport, the movement of substance occurs along the concentration gradient, that is from a higher concentration gradient to a low concentration gradient. And it does not require any energy with or without the presence of a carrier protein. Whereas in case of active transport, as the name says, the transport of substances against the concentration gradient with the expense of energy in the form of ATP as well as with the help of a carrier protein. Passive transport is further divided into three, that is the diffusion, osmosis, and filtration. Okay, let's have a look at diffusion. What is diffusion? Diffusion is the movement, a random movement of substances, molecules by molecules, through the intermolecular space with or without the need of a carrier protein. Diffusion is further divided into simple diffusion and facilitated diffusion. Simple diffusion, like transport of oxygen and carbon dioxide, that is, which are the lipid substances, and some non-lipid substances like transport of glucose and amino acid. Facilitated diffusion is transport of substances from a region of high concentration to low concentration with the help of a carrier protein. Example is glucose and amino acid. Osmosis. What is osmosis? Osmosis is the movement of solvent particles from a region of low concentration to a region of high concentration, again through a semi-permeable membrane. And filtration, we mostly see filtration, the process of filtration in case of glomerular filtration of renal, kidneys. Active transport. Active transport is further divided into primary and secondary. And secondary active transport is further divided into co-transport and counter-transport. As I have already mentioned, active transport means the movement of particles against the concentration gradient with the expense of energy and with the help of carrier protein. In primary active transport, the example is sodium-potassium pump. And the example of secondary active transport for co-transport is sodium-glucose transport. And in case of counter-transport is sodium-hydrogen transport. In sodium-potassium pump, it is present in all the cell membrane. With the help of a sodium-potassium pump, 3 sodium ion is transported to the exterior and 2 potassium ion gets into the cell with the help of energy in the form of ATPase, which breaks down ATP into ATP and inorganic phosphate, which helps in the which causes a conformational change in the carrier protein, which actively transports 3 sodium ion to the exterior and 2 potassium ion into the interior. The secondary active transport is further divided into co-transport and counter-transport. In case of co-transport, 2 substances are moving together into the membrane or out of the membrane. Whereas in case of counter-transport, any one of the substances moving into the cell, the other substance moving out of the cell. That is, example is sodium-hydrogen channel. And in case of co-transport, example is sodium-glucose. So that's all for today. Thank you very much.